What's up, everybody? This is Ryan from Shoe Podcast, and we are back with another unboxing. This time it is the Mendez by John Anthony. Now, if you don't know John Anthony, he is a rapper from Louisiana who just released his very own sneaker earlier this year. Huge shout out to John for sending these over our way for us to check out. I'm really excited to see them. And if you don't know us, we're Shoe Podcast, a podcast, funny enough, also from Louisiana. But in addition to weekly episodes, we also do unboxings, we do interviews, we do live streams. So if you like any of that sort of stuff, or if you like this video when you get to the end of it, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps us out. So once again, huge thanks to John for sending these over. I'll have a link to his Instagram down in the description below if you want to check him out. Starting off with the box here, you can see we get the John Anthony logo right on the top of it. It's simple, it's clean, I like it. It's just a plain black box with his logo. You can move around to the shoe tag on the sides over here, and you'll see again that these are the Mendez by John Anthony. The official colorway listed there is black/white, and you'll see that these are a size 12, obviously. Now, if you've watched any of our unboxings before, you'll probably remember that I'm a size 11. John recommended I go a full size up in these based on the fit. Stick around later in the video, I'll tell you how that ended up working out for me. So with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and open it up so we can see the shoes themselves. So you get a little bit of brown tissue paper on the top here. Ooh, dust bags, always a nice touch. Side note, it is funny as sneakerheads how crazy we go over dust bags and like how premium they can make us feel. Even though like you're only gonna see them once when you open the box and take your shoes out, and then you're gonna put the dust bags right back in the box and tuck it away forever. But still, that being said, I really like them. They feel premium, they give it that elevated touch. So let's go ahead and check these out. There you have it, your first look at the Mendez. I'm gonna go ahead and get the box out of the way here. So real quickly touching on the inspiration behind the design of these sneakers, the name and the colorway. The name Mendez comes from the name of the street that John and his family actually lived on in New Orleans up until Hurricane Katrina when they had to evacuate. And this very simple and clean black and white colorway is actually inspired by a car, a Chevy Corsica, that his family evacuated in when Hurricane Katrina came. So I asked John, why was he using these specific points of reference for his very first shoe? And he said it was all done in an effort to take something that was, a pretty traumatic event and turn it into something positive, to kind of flip it and make it a piece of art. So getting into the shoe itself, there are two primary materials used here, and that's neoprene and leather. Starting with that neoprene, John said he went with this for the comfort, but also performance benefits that it gives. And I think you can see that because it's very actually like soft to the touch. It doesn't feel like stiff and scratchy at all. That neoprene goes from the toe through the tongue, the heel, and the ankle collar opening because it's like a one-piece construction upper, like kind of like a booty. But it's not like soft like a sock shoe that, after a while you wear those and the fabric gets stretched out and it kind of loses its shape and starts looking like wrinkly. These are very solid. They've got a foam or cushion inside of them that gives it a lot of spring back there. So I think you're gonna get that nice like conforming to your foot, but still giving you the lockdown that you need. And then moving on to the leather, that goes from the mudguard up through the midfoot of the shoe here where you get those overlapping panels. And this just kind of gives a little more structure and integrity to the neoprene, but doing so in a way that adds a luxury touch to it. It's a very nice, very soft feeling leather, especially compared to the leather you find on a lot of your sneakers like your Jordans these days. This feels infinitely better than that. And then around the edges of the leather panels here, you've got this piping, which is actually reflective, and it's just gonna give another sort of dimension to it when photographed with a flash. Then moving back to the midfoot and the upper of the shoes, you've got these brass eyelets here, which you can tell are actually brass because some on the bottom of them, you can see like the little black wearing away and the actual brass color underneath it. So it's nice, they're not plastic, they're gonna be well reinforced and hold up. Complemented by these reflective laces on the top of them, again, gonna give another little pop when photographed with a flash there. They're nice laces, a little stiff, but they kind of remind me of like Yeezy laces, which are cool. And moving a little further back on the top of the shoe here, you get to this ankle collar opening, which is very cushioned and very padded, but not in a way where it's too stiff or too firm. It's still got nice flex to it. This is something that John was telling me they had to work through in the early samples to the final production version, was that in the early samples, this opening was a little too small, and so they widened it up here, but they did so in a way that you don't lose any of that comfort and cushioning in the ankle collar opening. So let's go ahead, let's get that stuffing out of here, and we can see you get leather insoles, and then the sock liner, I think is neoprene right around the opening of the ankle collar, and then leather for the rest of it. So I kind of like that. You're gonna get the neoprene touching your skin, where if you're like wearing no-show or ankle socks, the neoprene is gonna be touching your skin, But where your sock is, yeah, you get leather on the rest of the inside of the lining. So it's nice, you get the premium feel where it's not directly on contact with your skin and shouldn't cause, you know, too much abrasion or rubbing, but where it might possibly touch your skin, you get that softer touch. Now, I'm normally not a fan of leather insoles. I think they just, like, my feet get hot because I have flat, wide feet. But these insoles are like very thick and nice and firm and supportive. I don't know if you've ever like really taken up the insoles you might get in like a pair of Ultra Boost or Air Max or something like that. They are like wafer thin. These are super nice and thick. Oh, with like massaging beads on the bottom there. So I'm really excited to throw these on and see how comfortable they are. And then in that same ankle opening area on the back here, you've got the embroidered John Anthony logo, which is very nice. I like that it's not screen printed there. And I like that you just get the little logo hit on the back of the shoe. It's not plastered all over the side or on the tongue or anything like that. So like, these are really clean. You could dress them up and wear them like that, but they're still comfortable and casual enough to wear them for performance. So I think keeping the logo branding really minimal and subtle on the back just further gives you that flexibility in how you wear them. Lastly, moving down to the bottom of the shoe, you get to the midsoles and outsoles, which are a solid one-piece construction there. It's not two different layers. And it is a very thick, very firm type of foam, but I'm curious to try it on and see how I like that, because I think if it's going to be a one-piece fit like that, you don't want your foam too soft nor too hard. Obviously, it's like it's the baby bear. It's got to be just right there. So I'm very curious to see how comfy these are on foot. So speaking to the fit and the comfort, you've probably noticed by now several times in this video of like, I can't wait to have these on feet. I want to know what these feel like. That's because I actually decided to wait to wear them until I'd taken them out of the box. I think this white outsole is going to show dirt pretty quickly. So I didn't want to be taking them out of the box and have them already be worn and give that impression of that's what they look like. As I said at the top of the video, John suggested that I go a full size up on these for the best fit. So I'm very curious to see how that feels. Admittedly, I am a little nervous about this leather sock liner and if that's going to feel hot on my foot after a full day of wear. But I'm going to go ahead and wear these for a day, see what they feel like, and get back to you with that info. And we're back. So now that I've had a chance to try these on and wear them for a bit, let's talk about the sizing, the fit, and the comfort. So as a disclaimer to everything I'm about to say, I have a pretty wide and flat foot, so take that into account with all of this, but these absolutely run small. The first time I tried to put these on, I had a really hard time getting my foot into them, and because they're a one-piece solid neoprene construction on the upper, loosening the laces is only going to get you so far. Remember that thick insole I talked about earlier that's very cushy leather lining on the top? As you can see, I ended up having to take those out and swap them out with some Ultra Boost insoles, which apparently I've worn enough that the ST is gone, so now it just says Boost. So they look like very spooky insoles, but whatever. But once I did that, these were a good fit for me. So again, a reminder, I'm a size 11. These are a size 12. I had to take the insoles out and put them different insoles in to get them to fit like a size 11. So keep that in mind if you're going to buy a pair of these. That being said, once I was able to get my foot into these, it's a very secure and snug fit. I was a little bit worried about that leather sock liner being warm and not too breathable, but I actually wore these all night to a party with tall socks on and I had no issues with them. The upper of them, that neoprene, is really nice and does very much like hug and hold your foot as you're wearing them. It gives you lockdown, but it's not too tight and constricting. And it's not like some other shoes would have sock-like uppers where they can be a little loose and swimmy and it's hard to get your exact fit. Once you do get your foot in these, you're not going anywhere. So I'll give them credit for that. Last thing I'll say about the fit and comfort of these is that it is a very firm foam for the sole here. You can see it doesn't have a ton of give to it there. It's very solid, but that's good. You also don't want so much give that like your toes are touching the ankle opening here. But if you can hear, it's solid. Like it's a solid piece of foam. So while it's not uncomfortable, it's definitely not the most comfy shoe I have by any means. I don't know if these would be like an everyday wear for me, but I have no issue wearing them for a whole day. So final thoughts here, I actually really like this shoe. I think it's a very thoughtfully designed shoe with, you know, exceptional detail paid to the materials that went into it here. The overall shape of the silhouette kind of reminds me of like if a Nike Huarache upper and a Yeezy 700 sole had a baby, you would end up with this shoe, which, you know, those are two great shoes to begin with. So while I don't know that these would be a daily driver for me, I think this is a great option to add to your collection if you're looking for something to kind of stand out from what everyone else is wearing, or if you're looking for something that you can kind of wear a little bit dressy or nice out when you're going out for a night out. You don't want to grab a pair of sneakers that's so beat to hell, but you don't want to grab your dress shoes that are uncomfortable. This is going to work perfect for that in between there. And while I do love it, I would really like to see them change 2 things for the next iteration of this shoe that they do. The first thing on these would obviously be the sizing, and I think John's aware of that issue with them. I think probably long term, redoing the upper in a way that you could just go more true to size and wear it, especially if you're larger than a size 11 like me. I don't know that you can really get a pair of these right now. So it would be nice to be able to see them accommodate those larger sizes and have everyone else just going true to size. But a quick fix in the meantime might be just swapping out that insole that it's coming with a thinner insole. That'll at least give you a little bit more room if you're going up a size from your normal size. The second thing I'd like to see changed, and this is just a little nitpicky one if I can, this little plastic lace loop on the top of the front of the shoe right there, it's not causing any issue right now. It's not uncomfortable. You don't feel it. It's not falling apart, nothing like that. But I also just don't think it's really serving any functional purpose. And I think the little plastic just kind of takes away from like the luxurious premium feeling that this sneaker overall has. So it's just something that I'd wonder if maybe in the future, try a version without this and see, does it take away anything? Does it actually just make the whole thing feel heightened? So there you have it, an in-depth look at the John Anthony Mendez. Now, if you're interested in getting your hands on a pair of these, the best way to do so is to actually just contact John directly on Instagram. I've gone ahead and left a link to his Instagram in the description of this video below. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Please consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoyed our content, or at least leave a comment down below. Let us know, how do you feel about this shoe? Is this something that you're interested in picking up? We'll go ahead and read through the comments, pick a couple to reply to. As always, this is Ryan from Shoe Podcast, and I'll catch you all in the next one.